Wow, Bob. Bob's the first. Cheers. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hope you're all enjoying this. Well, it's holiday weekend. No, not yet. Next weekend. Jeez. All right, I'm one weekend early. Anyways, great to see you all. Bob, good to see you. Type in the chat where you are, who you are, and if you're a Patreon member. Just getting warmed up. Haven't played all morning yet, believe it or not. I had gigs every day this week. So I'm pretty warmed up. But what we're going to talk about today is this minor conversion concept. It's more of a concept. There's a lot of demonstrations already on Patreon, but it's more just kind of chatting and clarifying how for you to practice it, learn it, use it, and it makes soloing, jazz guitar soloing especially, easy and super fun. And I'm always for easy and fun. I get that quite a bit, from students on just what to be practicing. And I always say triads, scales, arpeggios, chords, everything theory, but really understanding the concepts is crucial, so you can apply it. Okay, that's the important part. So type in the chat who's here. Don't forget to do this if you're enjoying these videos. I didn't put a little tip jar out there, but I guess I'll do that right now in case you do enjoy these. That's always appreciated, not expected, but appreciated. And I'll just put that in the comments in case you feel like it, in case you get something out of this lesson today. There are free PDFs that are attached on Patreon. You just have to click on the link and grab some PDFs and tabs that show the demonstrations. I'll probably go to the sound slice as well and demonstrate a little bit further. We're going to basically just start with the basic concept of it. It's not rocket science, but it's not maybe not what you normally think. So it's usually kind of just programming yourself to see these chords on the chart and for you to play other chords. So you see G7, you play D minor. You see A7, you play E minor. You see C7, you play G minor. You start to think that, and it's beautiful. This is the step one, level one of the minor conversion concept. Minor conversion, by the way, I think Pat Martino really coined that term. The concept has been around for a long time. I always talk about that when I teach the song Sweet Georgia Brown. I say the first phrase is a major phrase. If you all know the old swing tune, Sweet Georgia Brown, it's this. It's a major pentatonic, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 in the octave, just major pentatonic, and that's over E7. I'm in the key of G, so that's the first chord. Is the E7, the sixth dominant. So it's just major pentatonic, and you can use that concept for soloing too. Just major pentatonic right on the root, okay, for a nice kind of a major 6 vibe on a dominant chord. And today we're talking about specifically on dominant chord applications of the minor conversion. So the second phrase, this is to me where it began. I mean, the big realization, the aha moment for me was learning the melody to Sweet Georgia Brown and understanding how it relates to the chord. That's why I always say, you can learn so much from just learning the melody. And then you can apply it once you study triads, arpeggios, scales, and all that good stuff too. But the second phrase is the composer takes that major phrase, major penta, and he flats the third. So now it's E minor. It's an E minor phrase, essentially. It's 1, 2, flat 3, the 5, skip the 4, 6. So it's kind of a major pentatonic turned to a minor pentatonic. That could be called a minor 6. Some people call that the John Coltrane pentatonic now. So I call it a kind of a minor 6/9 arpeggio pentatonic. But you just basically take the major penta and you minor it by flatting the third only of the major. So you got 1, 2, flat 3, 5, 6, 8. So that is played over the A7 chord. That's where the minor conversion concept really, to me, begins right there. You play A7, you think E minor. You play E minor licks. Really simple things. You can play cliches. Okay, you can do this. Kind of Charlie Christian vibe there. You can do sweeps and all that stuff, like melodic minor, blues licks. and this carries over definitely to the 12-bar blues as well, to think minor on the dominant chord on the 4 chord. So we'll talk about that in a second. Let me see who else is here. Hey, Oliver, welcome. Oh, Evan, I didn't forget to say hello to you. Yeah, it's a rainy day. I already got my shopping done over here at Trader Joe's, and I'm set. I got to go in and teach some lessons today in my school too. So it's so much fun to just play and learn minor phrases. I mean, to me, this is like, again, talks about how do I apply it? How do I practice? What do I practice? I always say learn those triads, major triads, minor triads, diminished and augmented, but especially focusing on the major and the minors. Because to me, once you get those, you can pretty much just jump in and start navigating through many of these old swing tunes, gypsy jazz songs for sure, and jazz standards in a really simple and fun way. Yeah, Pat Martino, good. Evan, sorry, I just read the rest of this. Pat Martino, yeah, so he's got, Pat Martino, if you don't know, was a great, I want to say, hard bop player. Coming from the tradition bebop, he usually cites Wes Montgomery as his early influence. And of course, we all love Wes. Wes is like the modern jazz guitar school, coming from Charlie Christian, that lineage there, Pat Martino. And then, there's other, of course, great, important guitar players and teachers such as Jim Hall, who kind of started another school of playing and thinking. But even Jim Hall will cite Charlie Christian as his main influence early on. So go back to where it all starts, Django, Charlie Christian. Sweet Georgia Brown, again, is a very important melody. So please learn that, check that out. Welcome, by the way, if you guys are joining in, we're talking about the minor conversion concept. I'm going to put up a little sound slice that I just created for my students here. And Patreon members. It's actually just free for anybody who wants to learn this concept, and then you can check out more of my lessons and materials on Patreon. I've got about 5,300 posts and lessons, new lessons posted daily. I'm very proud of it because this is basically what I do. I teach and I share concepts, and I practice myself also and keep wanting to learn. So new lessons are posted daily. By the way, if you enjoy this, please do this. And there's no thumbs up yet, so hopefully you guys are enjoying these live streams. Let me know. But yeah, you can think of anything that's minor and just play your favorite minor blues licks, minor pentatonic, and all that stuff. So let's just talk about the basic concept here. And this is where I'm probably going to open up a sound slice practice video that I do a screen share here. I'm pretty excited about this because I love sharing this. And I've been talking to my private students all last week saying, yeah, I'll probably do a live stream just to demonstrate this and to kind of get it out there for those who are new to this minor conversion concept. So, there's so much other stuff to talk about when you go along with this, because I always say learn your triads, because, if you don't know your triads, you don't know your notes, and how's that going to help you understand these concepts? So again, go, be realistic to where your level is and what you need to be working on, and then apply these concepts accordingly. So I've got, I think I'm going to load up this one for you first. This is the foundation. I just wrote this yesterday during a diamond tier lesson. And it's just called Minor Conversion 101. I'm going to check the comments, see who else is tuning in. Type in the chat. Let's get started. Pat Martino is a really important figure in jazz guitar and jazz guitar education. He talks about the parental forms, automatic shapes, diminished 7, how you extract the 4 dominant 7s from those, and the augmented, how you get the major and minor triads from those. Automatic meaning they're super easy to do on the guitar. You just put your hand down, you just slide it around every 3 frets for the diminished 7, or the augmented every 4 frets for the augmented triad. And then from there, because it's symmetrical, then you can extract lower, whatever you want to do to modify it to get the major, minor for the augmented, and the diminished dominant 7 to 4 dominant 7s. How does that tie in? That's a little bit more advanced theory, and I posted some stuff on Patreon about that too. But then you start thinking off the tritone substitution. Then you think about the minor on that. There's all these different little things that you could start to do as far as application goes. So you can take it pretty far out. But what I really want to talk about today is what I call 101, playing a minor idea on the fifth degree of the dominant chord. So let's talk about that, and let me load up the sound slice. Conman, hey, welcome back. Good to see your name. Hope everyone is doing well, enjoying this rainy day weekend, probably snowy for some of you. And if you're in Australia, hope you're enjoying the sun, California. Let me know where you're at. I'm always curious to see who's tuning in and where you're at. Let's see, screen share time. Oh, hey, thanks for doing this, you guys. I appreciate that. Again, that helps my YouTube channel quite a bit. So if you are enjoying these, that's all I ask. Here we go. So I wrote this out yesterday, as a matter of fact. I was like, there just needs to be a really simple introduction to this minor conversion. So in this example, I took F9. I think I showed it G9. It doesn't matter. But I started with a dominant chord, essentially. Let me see. Is this the one I want to do? I think I had a few different ones going here. Sure, this works just fine. So hopefully y'all can see that just fine here. So I'm going to talk about this. Basically, take any dominant chord. In this example, F7. F7, and this is where spelling is very important. As many of you know, I say whatever song you're working on, be able to spell it, each chord. Take a piece of paper and write down the letter names. That forces you to visualize your instrument, maybe, unless you can just spell it by knowing it already. Then, hey, that's awesome. But many of you cannot. And it's important to go F, A, C, E flat. And that's where, again, knowing your arpeggios comes in really handy. You just know that's a dominant 7. So if you need help with that, grab my worksheets on Patreon, the easy arpeggios for the 7th arpeggios. Go through the routine. But I recommend you don't just play the chord, because a lot of people learn this F7. Let me get off the screen share just for a second. A lot of people learn this as F7, like this. And then they say the notes. Here's my F7, F, A, E flat, F. And that's fine. Those are notes, but this is not a complete dominant 7. We don't have the 5th in there. The 5th is here. If you want to put the 5th here, or it's up here. Now we have all 4 notes. So just be careful. Plus, the only other thing about just using the chord shape only that is that it's not in the order. It's nice to go 1, 3, 5, flat 7 for your dominant 7. So here's F7, 1, 3, 5, flat 7. And that's all you need to do is just go up to this flat 7 and stop. So if that's neat for you, do that with me right now. Here's the triad, major triad, 1, 3, 5. Now there's a diminished triad embedded in that dominant 7, and it's starting on the 3rd. A, C, E flat. That's a diminished triad. So you got a major triad and a diminished. Okay, that's of course part of the concept of the diminished substitution. But I got to warn you, that's just a triad, diminished triad. It's not a diminished 7. If you did a diminished 7, you would now be creating F7 flat 9. All that good stuff. Now that's part of the diminished sub, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're actually talking about just basically playing it to create a dominant 9. So this is where I'm going to go back to that worksheet here in a second. James, who's that there? Oh, Philip. I don't know what your first name is right now. I don't know who this is, but hey, welcome. It's hard to sometimes guess what your first names are, but welcome Topic and Jeffrey, J5 Topic. Let's see. You can type in your name if you want to, but Texas, Toronto. Oh, Chris, what's up? Take off, eh? Chris Malmsteen, no relation to Ingve. Johnny from the Fog, of course, London town. Foggy day. That's for Johnny there. Thanks, Johnny, for tuning in. So again, here's a quick deal. Be able to spell. If I say F7, you say F, A, C, E flat. G7, G, B, D, F. D7, D, F sharp, A, C. If you need to do it on your guitar, grab your guitar. D, F sharp, A, C. Be able to spell that. Remember, you take your major triad. Triad's a foundation. You So if you're not able to spell your triad, start there. Spell all your major triads, okay? Then you modify it by flatting the 3 to get your minor triad. Then you flat your 5th to get diminished. So understand the formulas. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time preaching to you how important the triads are. I seem to be doing that, to do that often. So, but again, I'll just say that one more time. Be able to know your triads first. 7th chord, you just stack one more note. To get a dominant 7, you take your major triad, 1, 3, 5, 7, or so 1, 3, 5, and you add your flat 7. A good trick to get your flat 7, hopefully you have your guitar with you, not with me. I don't want your guitar. Unless you got that George Benson, Johnny Smith, that's $1 million, and I'll take it. But here's a F to F. That's an octave. Go down a whole step from your octave. That's your flat 7. That's the quickest way to get the flat 7. Just go down a whole step from the octave. So you go that flat 7. Now I kicked into C minor. I'm thinking C minor phrases over this F7, and that's again what we're talking about. To get that beautiful color, that 9th flavor. I wasn't thinking any diminished. Okay, that's a different concept. This is thinking minor on the 5th. Okay, so let's talk about that. We have F, A, C, E flat. Now if we extend it one more note, F, A, C, E flat, one more note going in thirds, extending, we get the G, the 9. And now we get this, F9. F, A, C, E flat, G. And let me go to my screen share there. And this is what I'm talking about. So, by the way, if you want to grab this worksheet. It's attached. The link is in the description. It's just free. So here's an F9 chord. Okay. And you can see F, A, C, E flat, G, and C. Okay, F, A, C, E flat, G, C. Now, what I'm saying here is embedded in this chord. That means the F9, and I wrote the name of the notes on the top of what's the name of the chord, not in the order. Okay, but embedded in that chord, this you would see an F major triad, you would see an A diminished, and then you see C minor triad. Now, that's the important thing: is the C minor triad. The fact that there's a C minor in the F9 chord. That's what's important, because that's going to give you the license to then play C minor, C minor, C minor. Any of your C minor licks and phrases you already know. C minor, blues, and all these beautiful, simple lines over the dominant chord, because you're converting. You are converting the dominant chord to minor. That's the beauty of the minor conversion. You see F7, you think C minor. So you think off the 5th degree, okay? That's the quickest and easiest way to do it. So that leads me to this. You gotta know your intervals. If F, C, that's your 5th. F, C, F, C, F, C. Just know where the 5th is. So you can either do it academically, you can think about it. If I said A, you say E. If I said D, you say A. Okay, if I say E flat, you say what? Type it in the chat. How fast are you? E flat, you say what? Come on. Raise you. Janovic, welcome. I don't have my translator on, but no maestro, no. But thank you. I'm glad I can help you, though. Welcome. From Brazil, Zub. I can't pronounce your name, but I don't want to butcher it. Sorry. Okay. Oh, thank you. Evan got it right. B flat, E flat, B flat. So you have E flat chord. You think B flat minor. You can do these phrases like a 2-5. You can start to do those little cliches, bebop-isms, whatever you want to do. But really simply, I like just starting with triads. So let's go back to F9. Here's F9. So again, and on the chart, it doesn't necessarily say F9. It would just say F7, the blues. Okay, the band is playing F7, but then you think, what is the fifth of F? C. Oh, I could play C minor. C minor. C minor. Okay, I added one note there. That's not in the C minor triad. So again, I got my loop pedal. Let's see if it's working. How to get a new adapter. C minor. That's F7. The band is playing. Sorry, there's a bad loop there. C minor. C minor. And that's what's written on the sheet. C minor. And then you can do this stuff. And again, that's what's written on. Let me see if I can do a better loop there. That was a little Charleston rhythm. I'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is just F7, static, one chord. C minor. Notice I hit a C minor 6 there, but the band, meaning my loop pedal, is just chunking out an F7 chord. That's the beauty of it, okay? And then on the first level, it's just play the minor triad, embellishments, and then add in some scale notes slowly to flavor to your taste. One thing that I like to do is add on the 9 and the 6 and the 11. So that's 6 notes, hexatonics of the Dorian mode, essentially. So now this is where we're going next with it, is scales. But if you're just tuning in, make sure you grab that free worksheet. And thanks for chatting with me here. And don't forget to do this, of course. Let me go back to that worksheet here, because I don't want to leave this either, because I want you to make sure you get your triads down. Okay, so we got a great worksheet just covering all the triad inversions on the different string sets: 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 6, 5, adjacent. We're not doing any string skipping and stuff like that, open spread voicings or anything. Any questions on that concept alone? It's so powerful. So let's take it to B flat. Ready? B flat, here we go. What is it? B flat, what's a fifth? Go for it. Type in the chat. Who's going to win? Here's B flat. The chord is B flat 7. You go to the fifth and you play F minor. And now I'm doing some melodic minor. I start off just little triad licks and phrases, embellishments. Then I busted into some melodic minor. So what Martino does is he plays these beautiful long lines. He'll show the formation, of what he's thinking, like F minor 7, F minor 7, F minor 7. He breaks them down into regions. It's just a little sample here. Then he thinks, okay, F minor 7, F minor 7 here, F minor 7, F minor 7 here, F minor 7. Then he'll play these long, beautiful lines, adding tons of chromatic blues notes, chromaticism to do what he calls like stair stepping to get from one phrase to another. He connects it beautifully. So that's a really important aspect of it, is to start to connect it. My method right now that I'm sharing here with you is the easy method, just triads. I love this concept. It's very, very inspired by Django Reinhardt. very inspired by Charlie Christian, the early swing guitar players. Again, you basically just think these nice little shapes, C minor. This is the easiest shape right here. And again, this is all written on that worksheet here. I'm going to go through this with you. Oliver, you're good F. Let's see what Johnny says. A minor also on F7, the third. No, not A minor. It's A half diminished, A diminished, A minor 7 flat 5, which is C minor 6. Again, that's what I had posted today on Patreon for the Gypsy Jazzers. We also like to think minor 7 flat 5s. So if you think about it, C minor 6 equals A minor 7 flat 5. And that's where you bust out your A minor 7 arpeggios and phrase. And then you connect it to the C minor. And I'm kind of just thinking A minor 7 flat 5, little licks and phrases. Which again, as long as you know A minor 7 flat 5 is equivalent, same 4 notes, to C minor 6. And that's huge also for the getting into jazz standards. Because when you see, I'll say A minor 7 flat 5, a lot of times people are like, what do I do on half diminished chord? I say, interpret it as a C minor 6. What would you do on C minor 6? You're like, ooh, I know what to do on C minor. So don't let that minor 7 flat 5 chord scare you on what do you play. Convert it, go up 3 frets on the guitar. You see A minor 7 flat 5, you think C minor 6 ideas and licks and phrases. But at first, like I'm saying, today what I'm talking about is the importance of having the foundation, the knowledge, but also just mastering these simple triad forms, creating some simple licks and lines that are extracted from this once you understand the concept too. So again, here's another example of that. Say if you're playing Autumn Leaves, let's see, here we go. What key am I in here? A minor 7, D7, G major 7, C major 7, and then right here, F sharp minor 7 flat 5. So when you see that F sharp minor 7 flat 5 chord in Autumn Leaves, just think it as A minor 6 or A minor, I'll say. I mean, it's the same 4 notes. And then you can go from there. B7, then that's where I say diminish it. If you want to have that B7 flat 9 vibe, and then E minor, then you bust into E minor phrases. And that could be E minor 6. Think of this. JS topic 2, not to be rude, but where are you from teaching? Where am I from? I'm in Portland, Oregon. That's a joke. A lot of people say Oregon, but it's Oregon. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for doing this too. And if you do enjoy these lessons, there's a little tip jar up there on the top in the link, if you feel like it, in the top of the comments. Oh, after Bob. So again, I'm just sharing to you because this has been a big topic lately on Patreon and the private lessons. I often talk about this minor conversion, but again, right now I'm especially talking about it on the dominant chord, and it creates a 9th flavor. So let's go back to this worksheet here. Type in the comments again. I'm happy to answer any questions as it relates to this topic, of course, or cooking. That was a joke. But I do like to talk about cooking too. And that'll be my next channel. So here are some really important basic concepts for soloing using this triad method. Now that you have this new knowledge of, on it, you see a dominant chord, you program yourself to think the 5th degree, and you can play minor triads, minor licks, minor ideas. So again, this little worksheet here that you can just grab in the comments if you want it, demonstrates some of these minor triad phrases. My term is called embellishments. I wrote these out a few years ago for my students for Gypsy jazz to get them playing minor swing. And I said, hey, just think of these easy triad shapes. And you got these nice get a little fancy there, but arpeggios too come out of that. So that's what this is about. You got your C minor triad, you got showing you the root 5th, and then you can start to do some embellishments. This is the and I didn't put it here, but I will. Maybe I did. It seems like this might be a different version. Lower neighbor. Oh yeah, this is not a good one. This got kind of a copy and pasted poorly. I apologize for that. Let me see what I can do about this real fast. There. Oh, this is private too. Okay, so yeah, so this is not the one I shared yesterday on Patreon. Come on. Stop sharing. Let me see what I need to do. Go grab your coffee. I'm gonna do some. Join me on Patreon if you haven't. There's a free tier where you can get a lot of the materials that I share here on the live streams, and you can join my community as a paid member and have access to over 5,000 post lessons, new materials and lessons posted daily. Many of you are already on Patreon. Thank you for being a part of the community. It's amazing. It's beautiful to be able to share this with you. It's definitely has inspired me to keep working with you all and to keep practicing and learn new ideas and just to get better, and etc. Let's see here. Type in the chat again if you're just joining in. Don't forget to do this. Let me do screen share. Here's the actual one I posted on page, and this one is the updated version. I had two kind of going here. So I started with F7, then I say, okay, extend it to F9, and then I say C minor 6 is extracted. I say it's embedded in the F9, and then I say you can reduce it to the C minor triad. Ta-da! That's what you want to know, C minor. You see F7, you play C minor. This is minor conversion, minor on the 5th degree. You start on the 5th degree of the dominant chord and you play minor. And so it's essential that you master these minor triads. And here is the lower neighbor. And then here is Django's Appel indirectly. But this is on an F7 chord. You might say, oh, and Django didn't use it on a dominant chord. Well, he kind of did. It was a C chord. He's thinking A minor, but that's a different topic. But it's still a cool topic to be able to think like a minor, just basically guitar players love to think chord shapes. So here's that F7. Give it a try, you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gabri loop. And then upper neighbor. Here we go. Beep. And chromatic passing. So again, I'm just demonstrating these little licks and phrases. I call them embellishments because we're just embellishing around the triad shape. But as a guitar player, we love to think shapes, okay? That's old school. That's Charlie Christian, Django Reinhardt. We're very visual in general, and it's nice to see that C minor, okay? But again, you see, you're thinking the C minor. This is the beauty of the minor conversion concept. It's played over F7. Okay. Of course, you could play it face value over C minor. And as I even talked about, you could play it on a minor 7 flat 5 chord, A minor 7 flat 5. All of this would sound just fine. Okay. You don't have to analyze every note and then try to be theoretical. Ooh, that's a major 7 on the dominant chord. But no, it's all good. Because like here's a major 7 on the, that's the sharp 11 here. This is the flat 9. You get all these different colors again that can be justified. So don't worry about the getting too picky. Again, this is also just kind of analyzing a lot of the Martino lines where he was being very chromatic. He would mix and match. He might even say he's playing Dorian, but he's not just limiting himself to Dorian, okay? But a lot of people think it's the Dorian, but minor, it's just more minor in general. So I'm saying don't forget to ascend, add some chromatic passing, add the Mona Lisa. You can do this all over the fretboard. Those are some enclosures. Variation on the enclosure. You could do some chromatic passing. One thing I want to show you, go back to this one lick here, Django, like that, this kind of concept a lot, is this one's really nice right here. This one's a good one. You can bust into triplets if you want, if you're, but that's your 6th degree. So this lick, this particular phrase here, beautifully shows you, if you see this note, that note, that note, and that note, there's your minor 6. Okay, minor 6. I extended it to minor 6 because that's in the F9. So that's a really nice phrase there. And you'll hear again Django. Do all these nice little licks and beautiful phrases, thinking around the chord shapes. So what I recommend, and I say a la Django, I recommend is as you kind of take these concepts of like, oh, I like this one. Well, move it to this shape, C minor. You know what I mean? And it's all the same. Move it to this. It's just the ideas of it. Move the Mona Lisa. If you like this, move here. Take it through your C minor inversions here. And all I'm thinking is just C minor, C minor, C minor, just C minor. Just know your C minors everywhere. And that's just ties into, again, just knowing your chord forms, triads. Go through my complete triad study where I go through all those triads and all sets of the strings, adjacent strings. I hope you guys are enjoying this lesson. Let me know by doing this. Type in the chat. I'm just trying to have a solid lesson for you on this minor conversion concept 101 on dominant chords up a fifth. That's what this is all about, if you're wondering. I'm just showing you some demonstrations, applications, and then you want to apply it to songs and progressions, the 12-bar blues, the B section to rhythm changes, apply it to Sweet Georgia Brown. You see E7, you think what? It's your quiz, your pop quiz. It's against the coffee. E7, what minor? Type it in the comments. Chromatics are helpful too. Playing fast, double strumming fast. I appreciate it, JS, J5. B flat. No, that's not right, Johnny. E7. You see E7 on the chart. E7. The fifth is B. Okay, not B flat. Just be aware of that. So here's B minor. Sounds like a blues lick. But I'm playing E7. So E, that's again, so that's what I'm talking about. Is you see E7 on the chart, you program yourself B minor licks, phrases, ideas, triads, chromatic sixes, minor 6, bebop phrases, whatever your pleasure is. Try to think that. And then there's another level. Then you can say, oh, well, if I'm thinking B minor, I can think D major. Absolutely. And that's, again, what Wes would do. He'd play major 7 arpeggio down a whole step. So it all kind of starts to tie in to the relatives and stuff too. But this is just level 1 on dominant chords. So on the A7 chord, this is like just an example on Sweet Georgia Brown. What's the fifth of A7? Go for it. Fifth of A7. Let's record it. Ready? Charleston rhythm. Here's E minor. Here's A. 7. Here's E minor. Even minor major 7, melodic minor. So again, you can start to color up those dominant chords. If you really think about it, on that A7 chord, you can play E minor triad, as I mentioned. If you do this octave, here's a major 7, like you're playing harmonic minor or melodic minor scale. If you think about what this note is against that A7, listen to this. Type in the comments, what is this? It creates a sharp 11, okay? A9 sharp 11. So you could go, then that's just the 11, natural 11, like a sus. But that note, cliche, 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 blues, minor 7 flat 5, same thing as E minor 6. Blues, face value. Back to the E minor. So E minor, go through these triads. E minor, E minor. This is all on an A7 chord. That's the conversion. And then add in the 6. 6. Cliche. Stay on one chord. Don't go to the next chord. Just a static chord. Blues. Six. Arpeggios, whatever. Just have fun jamming on that one chord. Again, this is stuff. Then we put it on D7, okay? Type in the chat, what's a fifth of D7? And here's a way to play your guitar. D7, D9, here's the fifth. It's a quick way of getting the fifth. So you see D7 on start, you think A minor. So here we go. I'm going to do a little bossa nova feel on the D9. Got my little loop pedal here. Oh, I don't have my loop pedals. Like I'm not on a gig. Huh? 2, 1, 2, D9. A minor. A minor. F sharp minor 7 flat 5. Because they're all the same. So again, that's the type of thinking again that I think is very important to be able to do. What's the point of it? So that you could just think minor, just play your favorite minor blues, minor pentatonic, minor licks, and if you want Dorian mode, harmonic minor, melodic minor, it does not matter. Okay, don't play the Phrygian though. No, you could if you want, but seriously, you can add those modal notes in for some color, and then analyze it. What is that note in relation? Actually, speaking of Phrygian, if you're on the A7 chord and you play E minor Phrygian, minor on the fifth and on the Phrygian note, the Phrygian is characterized by that flat 2. So that flat 2 is an F natural, and then F natural would be what on the A7 chord? I'm challenging you guys this morning. What is F on the A7 chord? Here's A7. Here's F. What chord is that? So if you're using the minor conversion, you're playing E Phrygian, get that flat 2. That's a sharp 5 on the A7 chord. Okay, I'm not going to get too far out here for you guys today. I just want to keep this really simple, but I just kind of want to demonstrate that you can kind of noodle around with any of your favorite minor licks and phrases, and it's going to be fine. We can justify it and get these different colors like A7 flat 5. There I'd play that E melodic minor to get that flat 5. That note. Any other comments, questions on this? I'm going to go back to this worksheet here. Hopefully you're enjoying this really, I want to say, simple introduction to the minor conversion concepts. This is just 101 here, meaning just an intro to what it is, why do I want to use it, how do I practice it, and then, wow, this is amazing. It's because it really simplifies your thinking. Okay, so again, learn minor triads, learn your blues scale, learn the Dorian mode, learn all that stuff. That's that's the thing I have to really share with you as far as like what to do. So going back to the sheet here, there's just more examples. That's all, just little Django-isms, this just kind of in the gypsy jazz style, but these are just nice enclosures and embellishments that are pretty to do. And then again, application. So here's E7. You can do this with me. Here's E7. I'm just playing a shell. Here's a 5th. So you just could do this simple little riff. Or this. Over that E7 on the 5th. This. Okay. Can everybody do that? This is now the workshop portion. And right there, that alone, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. That's probably the Dorian mode, okay? I didn't have the 6 in, I had the flat 6, but I would go there. But I'm purposely just staying really simple here. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5. And I just adding that note on. Okay, everybody do that, please. Actually, don't do that flat 7. Just go 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5. The first 5 notes of the scale. And that'd be over the E7. Then hit the E9 or the E shape. But this way, you're thinking off the 5th there. See, off the 5th. Just right there. Boom, check, boom, off the 5th. Add blue note. And an A. So this is really beautiful because it's like playing a blues, or it's even playing rhythm changes, the B section. The chords often follow this pattern, the cycle of fourths, we call it. So we have for the E, check this out. Please do this with me. Grab your guitar if you're watching this. Of course, if you're watching it post live stream, then grab your guitar anyways. Here's E, here's B. We're starting on B. We just did this little lick. Little grace note into the flat 5 from the flat 5 into the 5. Trill. Boom. E7. Now check it out when we go to A7. Now we're going to just go to E. Notice it's a 4th higher. This is why practicing your scales and arpeggios and stuff is so important to go and practice in 4ths. E minor. Very bluesy, right? But it could be the Dorian mode. Now I played minor 6. Cliche, all that stuff. And that's over A7. And then back to E7. B minor. And I'm thinking just this B minor shape. Or this. So again, I'm kind of navigating 12-bar blues. Easy. But what if we were to do it again over Sweet Georgia Brown's a great song, or just a rhythm changes where we're doing this. E7, this would be the, good quiz here. Key of, I almost said it. What key would the rhythm changes be in if we started on an E7 chord? Go for it. Let's see who's on the ball theory-wise today. E7 is the first chord of the B section. What key are we in for the rhythm changes? Again, these are just really important little practice things to be always know. Does anybody know? It's okay if you don't, just raise your hand. That's a joke. I can't see you. Okay, oh, I see you. All right, you guys are still wearing your pajamas. What's going on? No, it's okay. It's Sunday. That's allowed. Wait, you're wearing your Star Wars pajamas? Okay, no, that's not allowed. No, I'm joking. That's cool. Nobody knows. If you had an E7 chord for the B section, you'd be starting on, you're in the key of C. So if you're doing rhythm changes, E7, A7, D7, G7. Now I'm busting into rhythm changes are fun. But again, just know that's something that I think is crucial for jazz guitar players. Understanding the form, rhythm changes is essential. But know that the rhythm changes B section starts on the 3. Okay, the 3 in the key that you're in. So B flat, you'd start on D7. In the key of C, you start on E7. That's crucial because you're doing this back cycling. E7, A7, D7, G7, and then it arrives to C. You're following the cycle of fourths. And check it out when I show it to you this way. This is just some fretboard, bonus fretboards up, but we're still doing minor conversion, so hang with me here. But check this out. E, A, D, G, and then you're back to C. Those are all in fourths. I'll do it here on the guitar. Do it with me. E, A, D, G. Those are fourths in the C. E, A, D, G, and then C. So what I'm saying now is for practicing, this will eliminate a lot of the guesswork. You don't have to think. It becomes more automatic, not Pat Martino style automatic. But you do this: B minor, E minor, A minor, D minor, and back to C. Let's take it to the B. Ready? That's rhythm changes. And the B section. E, B minor, A7, E minor, and D7, G7, D minor. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. Everybody quotes that. And we do the we can do the minor conversion concept on rhythm changes. I often talk about that too. So please check out my little triad, rhythm changes triad soloing method, where it's embedded in that that study. So again, if you watch my fingers, I really would love for you to do this with me. I can't quite tell who's doing it or not, but B minor. I'll write this out. This will be on Patreon, of course. Just remind me if I don't get it out there, because I get preoccupied with other ideas too. E minor, A minor, D minor. Okay, we just navigated that simply through the B section of the rhythm changes. We went do 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 do, E minor, do 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 do, A minor. I know it was wrong. And then D. And last A section. So look at my hand. B minor. Say it with me. E minor, A minor, and D minor. It's simple as that. Maybe play minor 6 arpeggio, or minor 7 to minor 6. E minor, A minor, D minor. Bam, you just navigated those, the rhythm changes. Let's do that. Let me put it on the loop really fast here. Rock songs use E7. Yeah, you can use that. B minor, think B minor stuff for sure. Yeah, like this stuff. Okay, don't get me sidetracked though. Let's talk about this B section here. For the rhythm changes in the key of C, starting on E7. 1, 2, 3. Try it. B minor, E minor. See the chord I'm playing? A7, right? A, which minor there? And I'm not going to think about it. D minor. Here we go. E minor, A minor, D minor, B minor, E minor, A minor, and D minor. B minor. So again, I'm just practicing through this cycle. But in my head, instead of thinking the dominant chords, I'm just converting so I can play minor ideas, minor licks. Again, just be some blues licks for that matter. B minor blues. E minor. A minor. D minor. Etc. So that's a really nice way of soloing, and you get those Charlie Christian and Django flavors. Well, hey, I really appreciate you guys joining in. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. There's a tip jar in the link if you do enjoy it. Appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you on Patreon. We're going to go back. I love covering the foundation, the basics, especially on Patreon. There's always more advanced stuff too, but I always feel like if you don't have a good, solid foundation, it's hard to build on that. So, always go back and you can never get enough of the basics. You really can't. Triads, embellishments, all that stuff. And then it's all about application and having fun with various different concepts. Everybody have a great day. Rest of the day. I'll see you all later. Thanks again for watching. Cheers.